Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. Paul here to give you a pretty cool announcement. Locally by me, we have a Tanger outlet that had, up to today, 4 chargers, 4 level 2, like 6.5 kilowatt chargers in their parking lot. I have just been told by an informant, my brother, driving there, that there's just a massive amount of chargers now in the parking lot. And I've noticed this construction over the last few weeks, and I never knew what it was. And just now, I'm being told that they're putting a massive amount of chargers in the parking lot. I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're level 2 or DC fast chargers. Most likely just a bunch of level 2s, because obviously it's an outlet mall, so you want people to stay there longer. So I'm assuming they're going to be working with ChargePoint like they did with this one, but I don't know. We'll see. So let's get there. Let's see what these chargers are. Let's see what the infrastructure looks like. And from what I remember with the construction, they're going to be everywhere. Let's get there right now. Let's take a look. I'm just on my way home from work, so this is going to be kind of cool. Stay tuned. All right, everybody. Well, I am literally on my way there. I just left work where I was leaving to head to the outlets. My brother just sent me a picture, and it looks like they are DC fast chargers. Holy moly, this is huge. Myrtle Beach has no DC fast chargers. I recently did a video about this. You can take a look up here. I'll put it in the description as well, of how we have just a desert of DC fast chargers in this area other than Tesla. So this is huge. I'm really looking forward to getting there now. We got to take a look at this. Okay, I'm on my way right now. Honestly, my heart is pumping. Guys, this is amazing. You really don't understand how big this is. We're going from a town that has literally like 1 DC fast charger in it, non-Tesla we're talking, maybe 2 I think we have now in the same parking lot. And it looks like, according to the picture my brother sent me, they look like they are CCS, which makes sense because, you know, these were probably in the books, you know, a year or 2 ago before they started the process of, you know, getting them commissioned for the site. So it makes sense why they would do CCS and not like, you know, why aren't they NACS? You know, so because CCS is still the standard as of today. Nobody has really officially adopted it into their vehicles. Until that happens in a couple of years, you know, we're not going to really see much changes as far as the CCS infrastructure. So this is really, really cool. This is actually just, it's impressive because it's finally happening to this area. Myrtle Beach, like I was saying, is just such a desert for charging, even level 2 charging. The outlets have always had 4 level 2 ChargePoint 6.6 kilowatt chargers. That was it. And that was really the biggest charging area in the entire Myrtle Beach area. Now, if you had a Tesla, completely different story. Supercharger in Myrtle Beach, just recently added a supercharger in North Myrtle Beach. Of course, you can use all the level 2s that you want in the area. Some hotels had some Tesla destination. Some have just regular level 2s. But really, if you had a CCS vehicle, or just really a non-Tesla vehicle, you were really screwed as far as this whole situation goes. It doesn't look like they are commissioned and ready to be used as far as the picture looks, but I'm going to go around, I'm going to get a full count of all the chargers. We're going to take a look at the ratings. I want to hopefully get close enough where I can actually see some ratings on them, and we'll see if we can calculate what the speed will be. I'm hoping they're not like 50 kilowatt cabinets. They look like they're a standalone single CCS cable and handle cabinet, and that is going to be, I think, in my opinion, better because you won't have people trying to share chargers. But I want to see if there's maybe 2 next to each other. Maybe they share off of that. Who knows how big they're willing to go with the kilowatts. Maybe these could be 150 kilowatt stations that split, or they could be 200 kilowatt stations that split, or they could be 150s that don't have a split. You know, we don't know exactly what these are. I didn't even recognize them. They're a completely different brand from anything I've recognized. So I'm really kind of interested to see what we're going to see when we get there. So here we go, exits in 1 mile. Let's get off, let's go see these chargers. All right, I started on this side of the parking lot. I did not see any because I didn't see any construction down there previously. So right up here, we're gonna see our first one off to the left. And yep, there we go. So there's the first fence. It looks like there's a DC fast charger. Nicely located next to a tree, or at least... Oh, I know what these are. Oh, wait a minute. I know what these are. And the brand is not coming to me. So there was 2 there. There's another one, possibly another 2 going in there. There's another one. This is not what my brother sent me. I'm still looking here. Let's keep going here. Here's some more. These are ones that I've seen that got the display with like the advertisements on them. Yep, there's some more right there. There's some more. Holy moly. All right, we may have to park and go look around at these. All right, there's the chargers. So they are DC fast chargers. Looks like they're gonna probably have some sort of screen on the side. It looks like you could see the payment method out front there. Single CCS. Really, really interesting. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. 1, 2, there's 3. There's 4, there's 5, there's 6, let's see, 7 and 8 looks like still in the boxes, and 9 and 10 still in the boxes. I guess they're going right there, or maybe they're splitting 9 and 10, one at the corner and one over here potentially. Yeah, it looks like there's a spot for one right there. All right, looks like 10 DC chargers. Nope, found more. Wow. So that is 11 and 12. So really interesting. It looks like some of them actually might not be DC fast chargers. That is a level 2 charger there by Volta. So maybe they're not all DC fast chargers. Maybe some of them will be free level 2 charging as well. Looking good. All right, everybody. Well, I just got home and I cannot believe this. I counted 12 stations that they're putting in at this outlet mall. That is awesome. Now, they're not all DC fast chargers, I noticed. So some are just being constructed. Some are actually finished. They have the screens on. Some of them are still in boxes, as you saw. Like, there is a lot that still needs to be done to get these things up and running, then commissioned and everything like that. Unfortunately, they were still completely gated off. I wasn't going to break any laws trying to get in there to see them a little closer, but you could tell that there are the Volta DC fast chargers. I was looking this up. You can find them online. Just look up Volta DC fast charger. Those are the cabinets they're using, and they're capable of about 50 kilowatts per cabinet. So that's going to be a decent fast charger. It's not going to be something where you're going to stop at and then wait in your car for 20 minutes and then go. This is going to be more or less you're going to stop, you're going to probably get some lunch, you're going to probably be there about an hour at least for you to get a decent charge on your cart and then keep going. And that makes sense for an outlet mall, because you don't want people to just stop for 15 minutes, get back in the car and get back on the road. It makes no sense. And the level 2s always made sense, though they could have been a little bit faster level 2s. The level 2s always make sense. You plug in, you'll be there for a few hours at least, you get a little bit charge on your car. They're free, which is actually really cool. With these, the Voltas, we saw a mixture of DC fast chargers and we saw a mixture of the AC chargers there. So it's interesting. Now, I couldn't tell how many of each because, like I said, some were still in boxes, some were not fully up and erected yet. So it was kind of hard to tell where they were at or how many of each there were. But yeah, pretty crazy to see. 12 stations. I would say probably half of them will be DC fast chargers. And as far as I know from Volta's business model, is the AC chargers are typically free. And then the 50 kilowatt DC fast chargers are typically pay for. You typically have to pay for your DC chargers. Now, I think they offset the cost quite a bit by having the advertisement screens on them. That's the whole point of having them at the front of the parking lot. Like, I'm not a big fan of having chargers at the front of the parking lot because a lot of people are like, oh, close spot, I'm gonna steal this one. And then somebody who needs a charge can't charge because some person decided to pull in because it was the #1 spot, I'm gonna take it. And so I don't like that idea when it comes to charging in the public, because I would rather have a charger towards the back of a parking lot or to the middle of a parking lot where people are not typically going to take that spot immediately because it's open. In this case, the business plan is put the screens where everybody has to walk past them, which is at the front of the parking lot, and then try to make those spots designated for EVs to charge. Now, that is a great idea in theory, but in practice, we will see how that works. I know, you could put as much labeling, green lines on the parking lot, you could do whatever you want. You're still gonna have a lot of people blocking these chargers because it's the closest spot, and I don't give a crap about any EV that wants to park here. I'm taking this spot. And so I'm curious to see how this is gonna work. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna end this video. We're actually just gonna kind of just tag the rest of this video when they open, or at least when some of them open, because I want to get over there, I want to run some tests, I want to see how cars charge on them. We're going to see just in general the plan or the theory behind this and see how well it works. Will people just be taking those spots because I've always been taking those spots, or are people going to, you know, respect the EV charging spots that are reserved for them? And, you know, we'll see. I mean, that's all we can do at this point. So anyway, yeah, let's jump ahead a little bit. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. Let's jump ahead a little bit, and we'll touch base with you when it's all done, ready. We'll be at the parking lot testing this out. All right. Well, February of 2024, and these Volta chargers here are still not on the Volta app as of yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this in, see if it's working yet, because I think there have been reports of some people saying that the chargers are actually functioning, but they're just not in the Volta app. As we could see here, the advertisements are running on these two boards. So it seems like, yeah, so we are getting power from these systems, but unfortunately the Volta app still does not see them as active. And the interesting thing about that is there's just one DC fast charger on the other side of this parking lot that is capable of charging through the Volta app. Right here you can see on the screen it says free EV charge plug-in vehicle. So it is on free vend right now, even though they're not active on the app, as we can see the advertisements once again. So they seem to be up and running once again, February 2024. All right, so came over to one of the DC fast chargers, as you can see right here. Sorry for the glare. So this one has the vending board up, it's running. You can see on the screen right there, it says, you use Volta app, mobile pay only, but yet it still doesn't want to activate. So I tried plugging it in. It gives me a connectivity, but it does not show any type of charging. So it's not on free vend, and there's no way to activate it through the app. There's only one DC fast charger here currently that actually is activated, and it's been that way for about a month. Oh well, we'll come back and try it again. All right, everybody, well, good morning. Well, and happy Easter, actually. Today is Easter that we are recording this, and I am happy to finally present to you the Tanger Outlet chargers expansion that they finally put in. And I can't believe it, but they're finally done after over 6 months of construction, installation, commissioning. It took that long for them to get all of these chargers put in the ground. And now I want to kind of show you exactly how they're laid out here in Myrtle Beach. Now, if you follow this channel, you probably know that I like to report on the DC infrastructure of Myrtle Beach, or really just the charging infrastructure in general, but primarily on the DC infrastructure, because we have millions of people that come to Myrtle Beach every single year, and a lot of those people drive. And since electric cars are becoming more and more common, more ubiquitous, there was no charging here 2 years ago for anybody other than Tesla vehicles.
For CCS cars, there was nothing here. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, we're moving to NACS, or we're moving to J3400. Everybody's gonna have the Tesla connector on their car. Yeah, true, but not right away. It's gonna take many years before all those happen. And then what happens to the existing cars on the road? They need the ability to be able to charge, possibly natively if people don't have the adapters, or they forget their adapters, or their adapters are broken, or just whatever the case may be. They need other ways to charge. And so here we are at the Tanger Outlets here. After over 6 months of waiting, they finally got the infrastructure up. Now let's go ahead. I'm parked way in the back of the parking lot because I want to show you exactly how this looks. So let's turn you around and take a look. Okay, so we are currently at this corner of the L shape of the Tanger Outlets. The reason I'm here is because I want to show you all the charging infrastructure from this point. Now, this right here, this highway is Route 501. Now, this is one of the major corridors for people to come in and out of Myrtle Beach every single year. It is one of the busiest roads. I try to avoid it as much as I can since I live locally to this area, and that place gets absolutely crazy some days. And so I try to avoid that as much as I can, but because of that traffic, that brings in a lot of tourism and people who need to charge their cars. Our closest Electrify America station is almost 60 miles away. And prior to like a year and a half ago, our most local DC fast charger was right up the road here at a not Hyundai. It was a Nissan dealership, and that thing is always down and out. It's like never working half the time. So people were kind of relying on it, but it just doesn't work anymore. There's also a Kia dealership that started putting in a DC fast charger, and I think that's pretty iffy at this point. But who wants to sit at a Kia dealership or a Hyundai dealership or a Nissan dealership or whatever dealership for an hour to charge your car, especially since they're slower chargers? Now, you probably remember that I had a video a couple of, well, it was last year, sometime in the summertime, where we had the local Hyundai dealership that put in chargers. They were 62.5 charge point CP 250s, nice units, but there's nothing to do there. It's a dealership. And so finally we have some charging infrastructure here that is actually useful to the consumer, the person who's using the charger. Now, way over there, you might be able to see it, is where they used to have 4, you can see them just right there. They used to have 4 charge point level 2 stations. It was 2 posts with 2 on each, so you had 4 chargers. They used to charge about 6.5 kilowatts of energy per vehicle, which was fine, but last year or so, they started getting full a lot more often. And so it seemed like Tanger was like, hey, you know what, we need to add some more chargers. So here we are now. You've seen me take the trip around the building. You've seen all the chargers, but here is where you can see all of them from one shot. So main highway there. Over there you have, now it's the 3 Shell Recharge level 2 stations. And then way back there you can see there's actually the first of the new Volta DC fast chargers. And so they have 6 DC fast chargers. I believe they're 50 kilowatts. We're gonna plug in a few minutes and see how well they work. And then they come around this L shape here. So I think you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think the 6th one, yeah, I think that's the 6th one right there. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 around the building. And then over here, you have some level 2. So you have a level 2 here, level 2 there, level 2, level 2. And then on the other side of the building is another 2 level 2. So they have a total of 12 additional chargers that they have now officially added. It's all up and running. The DC fast chargers are now showing up in the Volta app, which took them months for some reason. There was like 1 that worked and the other 2 just were not or there was 1 that worked and the other 5 were not working for some reason. Level 2s were all working, but they're not showing up in the app, and still not showing up in the app. And but they're working. And that might be on purpose, I don't really know, but right now, the DC fast chargers are up. That's the main infrastructure we want to see here in Myrtle Beach, because that's what everybody relies on when they come to visit. And why not plug into a Volta charger, go shopping at the outlets for a couple of hours, you come back, if you have a big battery, like let's say you have a Hummer EV, or even like an F-150 Lightning, right? Over 100 kilowatt hours of energy, you pull in pretty low, you plug it in, 2 hours later, you'll probably be about 90% or so. So anyway, let's roll over to the chargers, take a quicker look at them, a closer look at them, and let's take a look at how well they charge. So as we pull across the parking lot here, you can see these nice Volta chargers. Now, obviously they put them in the front of the parking lot because that's where the advertisement makes the most sense. And so they put them out in the front of the parking lot, with the big advertisement boards, which is fine, but I'm not crazy about having EV chargers that close. But anyway, let's get this plugged in. All right, so here up close is the Volta DC charger. Now, I think I've showed you one of the level 2 chargers up close. It looks exactly the same, big advertisement board, except it just has the level 2 J1772 plug on it. But pretty much, you know, dual advertisement on both sides. You can see it says DC fast on these versus the other ones that just say level 2 on them. Or actually, they don't say anything. It just doesn't say DC fast on it. So then these are the cables right here, or the CCS handles right here. So looking pretty good. They are a SAM-Wu cable, so probably one of the Chinese provided cables. Here you can see it has a credit card reader, but you can't use the credit card reader. It says use Volta app mobile pay only. So that means you have to do that. So it says download app, authenticate, plug in, start charging. So that is pretty much the step. So let's see if I can go ahead and do that real quick on my phone. See if I can open up the Volta app. You can see I already pulled it up. You can see the chargers here on the map, and you can see that I'm standing next to this one. They should be all numbered, so you can see that this one is called 05. So 05 is the one that we want. You can see it says that they're available. So let's see if I open this up. We see 05 right there, plug CCS. Let's click check in, see what that does. Sorry for the background noise if you hear it. Once again, 501 is a major corridor. My payment method there. So now it is, all right, it says plug in your car. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed here, see how this works. Unplug that. Bring the cable around. All right, clicked in pretty well. Starting your charge. It says your first 30 minutes are on us. Whoa, after your complimentary charge is complete, your paid session will begin at 50 cents a kilowatt hour. Holy moly, these are actually 30-minute complimentary DC fast chargers here at the outlets. That is absolutely crazy. I thought these were just 50 cents a kilowatt hour, period, but it turns out it's not. Let's make sure that we are charging. Let's turn on the car here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it says we are fast charging. Wow, okay. So complimentary DC fast charging here. Let's pull up my app and see how fast we're charging. All right, so according to this right here, it shows that we are at 56% state of charge. We're still pulling in 42 kilowatts, almost 43, so not bad. Shows our voltage at 366 volts. And yeah, that is pretty impressive. So we are doing, you know, almost 50 kilowatts. Maybe if we were at a lower state of charge, but we should be getting at least 50 kilowatts. I am not sure what the actual power output of these chargers are, and I don't see anything about that. So I couldn't tell you what the what all that's about. But hey, look at that. Complimentary 30-minute charging here at the Tanger Outlets here. Once again, this is the Tanger Outlets in Myrtle Beach off of the Route 501 corridor. Not to be confused with the one that's off of Route 17 and 22. You can see back there, now that I'm a little closer, you can see that there's the other DC fast chargers. There's actually a sign that says complimentary EV charging right there. That's for those level 2 Shell recharges right there. And then way back there, you can see some of the other DC fast chargers. And yeah, really cool to see. So our DC infrastructure here in Myrtle Beach is finally getting better. We're finally starting to see some decent infrastructure here. There's another DC fast charger right there, but we are charging up a free complimentary 30 minutes. I mean, why not? Who wouldn't do this? I mean, that is fantastic to see. All right, everybody, well, there you go. So after over 6 months wait, the DC fast chargers here at the Tanger Outlet are finally done. They're finally working, and I am very proud to say that it's finally starting to happen here in Myrtle Beach. We are finally starting to get the DC infrastructure for people to come and use to charge up their cars and not have to try to find a destination charger, which there are not many, and also struggle with trying to find other places to go to charge their car, or try to find like a 110 outlet to plug into for all day. You know, we finally have proper infrastructure here. And of course, you could use this with a Tesla if you have the Tesla to CCS adapter. or excuse me, CCS to Tesla adapter. And yeah, so that's fantastic to see. Now, if you are a Tesla driver and you're probably like, oh, where do I charge if I'm a Tesla? Supercharger at the mall just a few miles down the street, and there's a supercharger up in North Myrtle Beach as well. I haven't done videos on those because they're superchargers. They're everywhere, the ubiquitous. You know, if you're in a Tesla, it's going to tell you where it is anyway. So really, there's not any concern there. But yeah, so we have now some DC fast chargers at that local Hyundai dealership. I did a video on the DC fast chargers at the Circle K up in North Myrtle Beach. And now we have these right here on the main corridor, one of the main corridors coming into Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Fantastic to see. So glad to, you know, that we're starting to see this infrastructure build up, because when I first started driving electric vehicles here, there was almost literally no charging. Crazy to see. Anyway, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. So if you come to the Myrtle Beach area, make sure you take a look at these chargers, charge up on them. 30 minutes complimentary. Maybe it's the first time, maybe it's not, I don't know. I'll try it again. But yeah, thanks again for watching. And make sure you comment down below if you come to Myrtle Beach. If you're gonna use these chargers, let me know. I'll really appreciate that. All right, everybody, we'll see you on the next episode. And remember, welcome to the future and welcome to Tech Motoring. We'll see you soon. So just stopping to see this charger over here. Looks like this one says coming soon on it. But I don't think that is the case. I think they are all up and working now. Let's go ahead and give this one a shot now. So we're hitting number 2 here. And this is number 3 charger. We're gonna hit check in. Yep, first 30 minutes are on us. Wow. So there you go. So you do get complimentary 30-minute charging as many times as you want, I guess. Wow, that's amazing.